Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And today, our good friend Patrick Prohaska is with us, and we're going to be talking about how you are a force of nature and what that means. And some of what we're going to learn with Patrick is how to develop a deep awareness of your awesome inherent power without ego or arrogance, discover what blocks you from expressing your power freely, learn how to use your power for the benefit of all without exhausting or depleting yourself, and nurture and celebrate the power of others without rivalry or competition. So this is huge, actually, and I'm so glad we're talking about this, because I find that right now we are all really going more within ourselves, finding our power, expressing it more, and from a place of integrity and honesty and truth. And we don't really want that rivalry or competition. We always talk about collaboration, cooperation, working with others, right? But sometimes, that kind of stuff does come up. So if you don't know Patrick, I'll just tell you a little bit about him. Patrick's a good friend. He's been on our show many, many times. Always have so much fun. His calls are always high vibe. The activations are so powerful. You're all going to love them and enjoy them. He's the founder of both Lightbridge Academy and Charisma Coaching. And Patrick has helped thousands of clients and students shine with personal power, joy, and authenticity. Patrick is the creator of Lightbridge, a revolutionary system for healing and personal transformation that blends law of attraction life coaching principles with belief sculpting and energetic activations. And through Lightbridge Academy, he offers training in the Lightbridge technique and has established a certification program for professional practitioners. He has a bachelor's degree in history of science and a master's degree in the religions of ancient India, and has studied countless healing systems, including Ayurveda, Reiki, Theta healing, aromatherapy, and more. Patrick is the author of Brain Cells, Escape Your Mental Prisons, which you can find on Amazon and I'm sure other places too. He also has other books about Lightbridge as well. And so I'm so glad that Patrick is here with us again today. So Patrick, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's always a joy to be here with you.
And we're always so happy because you always bring up some key points that we seem to be going through or experiencing in that moment, and then, helping us to see them in a different light or different perspective, and at the same time, clear them, right? Yes. So I know we're going to have a wonderful conversation and, high vibe and activations and clearings. But before we do all that, we know that your birthday is coming up in like 2 days, right? And so we wanted to take a moment and celebrate you. I've already got tears. I'm so like, I love you. You're such a good friend, and I wish you were here so that we could celebrate together, right? But we can't. So instead, I brought what did I bring here? Let's see if I can share this. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at this. Anyways, here's a cake or a piece of pie.
Oh my God.
there it is. Okay. They didn't have a candle.
My favorite too.
So I got this from, and for those of you who don't know, I got this from Zanoni and Zanoni, which is a really famous Italian ice cream place. But they're really famous and they're down the street. And this is my favorite, Patrick can't have this. So I thought, okay, I might as well get something that I like, right? Since we're doing this virtually. So I got this for myself, but you will have the essence of it. So Patrick, I just want you to take a moment and take a deep breath. Imagine this cake and these candles are in front of you, right? And I want you to take a moment and think of a wish, okay? And I'm going to invite everybody in just a moment. I'm going to unmute you all, and I just want you don't have to sing happy birthday, but let's just wish Patrick a happy birthday, okay? So I'm going to give Patrick a moment to think about his wish.
Oh, I've got it.
Awesome. So I'm going to unmute you all, and so no singing because I don't want to sing, but we can say happy birthday, okay? So happy birthday, Patrick.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Patrick.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
We all love you so much. We so appreciate you.
Happy birthday. Many, many blessings.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. All right, everyone, I'm going to mute you. Okay, so I wanted to share that really quickly because, Patrick, you do so much, right? You do so much for everybody. And this is not much what we can do, but we thought we'd do a little bit, and this is it. So Giovanna actually sent me a message. Hey, she said, can you do something? I said, well, I can go get a cake, and we can do it on air. So Giovanna, do you want to say something to Patrick? She's saying happy birthday. Hold on, let me unmute you. 1 second. Go ahead.
Happy birthday, Patrick, and thank you very much for what you are doing. You are really wonderful. Thank you
so much.
For everything. Thank you.
I've got to say, this is kind of related to the wish that I just had. 2 years ago, I was in Vienna and for my birthday, and I did a live show with Alara on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the most awesome experiences I've ever had in my life. That entire trip, that entire visit for my birthday was truly astounding. And I can't wait to do it again. So my wish is to make it back to Vienna sometime soon. So
yay! That's awesome. I love it.
Later, I've got so many friends in Vienna, and most of my friends in Vienna, you don't even know each other. So it'd be fun to get together, have a nice reception or party or healing event or something while I'm there. So
absolutely. Yes, you are always welcome. You're always welcome. You know that. So I just want you to, now that you made your wish, I want you to blow the candles out. Okay, so just imagine there's 3 candles here. Pretend you can see them because I suck at this.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So now the wish has gone up to the universe, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. And I really appreciate that. And I think that's like a beautiful segue into the topic that we have today. It's the power of your wishes, the power of intention. When you really step into the energy and come into alignment with whatever your intention is, you actually create the energetic footprint that causes it to begin to emerge in your environment. So for example, if I really want to come to Vienna and I really set my heart on knowing what it would be like to manifest that for myself in my life, eventually what happens is the universe offers you opportunities to achieve whatever your intention is. Now, the universe doesn't hand it to you on a silver platter. It's not like tomorrow morning I'm going to get tickets to Vienna and a free hotel while I'm there. I'm not going to necessarily win a contest, even though that's possible. What usually happens is the opportunities emerge. I have to use my awareness of the world around me to recognize those opportunities when they emerge. I have to get out of all of the yes but energy, all of the excuses for not taking advantage of the opportunities when they arise. And I would say that's like the biggest stumbling block for a lot of us. A lot of us live our lives completely enmeshed in yes but energy. We have a whole laundry list of things that we want to do. We have a bucket list of things that we will accomplish before we die. I don't recommend doing a bucket list. I recommend doing a list of things that you want to do right now and pour your energy into all of those.
And start doing them.
Thinking, I've got 40 years left and I'll eventually do this before I die.
Yeah.
But what happens is a lot of us, we have that long list of things that we would like to do or things that we really, really want to do. We have a powerful desire to do them, but we've got that yes, but mentality. So for everything that we think that we'd like to do, we come up with a list of 25 reasons why it's not possible for us, why it's forbidden for us to do it, why it's dangerous for us to do it, how we're not ready for it yet. Just let me get things lined up and maybe 6 months from now I can think about it. Well, if you're postponing things 6 months in the future, you're never going to get to it because it's always going to be 6 months in the future. So purging that yes but energy is really an important step into creating the life of your dreams.
So I'm hoping we can do a little bit of that today. Clearing the yes but energy.
Do that. We'll do a deactivation of yes but.
Yeah, because that's huge. And we were talking about that earlier on my group healing call. And it's the difference between a person who wants to do something and a person who's doing something.
Yeah.
Right. So it's about
it's the difference between doing and being.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, it's the difference between having a list of things that you would like to do and actually being in the energy of doing them. When you're in that energy of doing them, when you're being the things that you would like to do, you actually are, they happen automatically. They happen effortlessly.
Oh, I love that. Doesn't that sound awesome, guys? That it happens effortlessly, right? Because we're tired of the efforting, right? Are we not just tired of the efforting? Like, we're done. No more efforting. Let's make it effortless. Let's make it easier, and it's not necessarily easier, but with ease, right? But also with our own dedication and declaration that, yeah, I'm doing this, and then taking action to do it.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
not just
absolutely.
energetic.
And that's the third step. So I'd mentioned there were 3 steps that are really important in this. You set your intention. So that is, you clearly know what you would like to accomplish. So the first step had to do with opening up your awareness so you can recognize the opportunities when they emerge. The second one is getting out of the yes but energy, all of the excuses for not doing it. And the third is actually taking action. Now, things sometimes happen automatically. Sometimes you get a magic wand solution, but you can stir up all of the healing energy in the world. If you don't take action to embody it or to actualize it in your life, it's just going to sit there and fade away. Nothing's going to happen. So you have to take action.
So did you guys all hear that? I really want you to hear that. I mean, I love you all. I do. And I know that some of you just hope that, there's a magic wand and the energy will just fix everything and then you don't have to do anything. That's not how it works, right? So the energy can help, definitely. And it can support you, and we can clear stuff out. And then, give you the support to have the courage, sometimes even to move forward and take that step. But you still have to take the step. Nobody else can do that. Okay?
Yes. So while we're on the topic of magic wands, this is a really, really interesting point that I would like to make. It's something that I've been thinking about for a very long time. And if you've listened to my calls in the past, or if you've worked with me in the past, you've heard me say over and over again, there are no magic wands. And that's something that I teach in my level 1 Lightbridge Foundations course. The reason I teach that is because a lot of people are kind of passively hoping that their problems will resolve and that somebody else will do the hard work for them. So if you really want to make a major shift in your life, it's really important for you to take control of your thoughts, take control of your beliefs and your judgments and so forth. And by shifting your energy, you create the conditions whereby something will emerge in your life. If what you're searching for is the magic wand solution, what that means is that you want the solution, but you don't want to do anything to change the conditions that created your mess in the first place. And you might get that magic wand solution, but it's very quickly going to deteriorate and die if you return to the old thought processes and old habits and old belief systems that created your mess in the first place. So when I'm teaching the level 1 course and when I'm working with clients who are essentially new to me, I always teach that principle, there are no magic wands, or you should come out of expecting a magic wand solution. What I teach in my advanced course is that that's all a lie. That I've been deceiving you all this time.
I was going to say, let's not talk about that today on this call.
Yeah, it's not necessarily true that there is no magic wand. The fact of the matter is you are a magic wand. You yourself, in your core personality, at your root essence, you are a magic wand. And you are constantly waving yourself as a magic wand around, creating the conditions of your life. So if you want to change something in your life, you have to change the way you wield your magic wand. Now, the magic wand isn't something you hold in your hand and wave around. It is you. It is your subconscious orientation. It is who you are in your core essence. And sometimes your core essence is, for lack of a better word, it's corrupted by faulty belief systems. We believe that there are limitations imposed upon us that don't really exist. We believe that the universe has limited resources, or that God hates us, or that it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and the only way for you to succeed is to destroy somebody else, or the only way for you to be wealthy is to take money from somebody else. Those are faulty belief systems that get fed into the magic wand that is your core essence. And every time you take action in the world, you're like shaking that internal magic wand, and you're creating the manifestation of whatever those beliefs are. So the program that I set up in my Advanced Lightbridge course and beyond is all about how to take control of yourself as a magic wand and get those magic wand solutions that you were looking for previously, but realize that you actually have to do the work in order to achieve it. So you're much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And in fact, as the title of this discussion today goes, you are a force of nature. And you know
how powerful nature is.
You can use your power for good, you can use your power for bad, you can use your power to limit yourself and lock yourself in a prison cell that you never escape, or you can use your power for liberation. It's entirely up to you. Yeah.
Awesome. So I know we went right in and being totally intense, and I can feel the energy of the intensity from all of us. And it's we just, to be honest, we just want you to have, whatever it is that you desire, right? But Patrick and I, we have done the work, right? I know, I want to laugh. We have done the work, right? We have done the work. So that's why we can say this, because we know. Don't think that I did not want a magic wand when I was, younger. Trust me, I did, and anytime I get really tired, oh my God, somebody please just fix me is what I would say. Just please take care of it. Knowing that the only person who really can is me, right? I'm the only person who really can take care of it. But I also got a lot of support, so I went to, I learned a lot of modalities and techniques and went to a lot of teachers and so on for that support. But you all know this, we do our own healing, right? We as healers and coaches, we can support you, but you do the healing yourself. You're the one that allows it in. You're the one that does the changing, right? And it's possible. Please, I'm telling you, it's possible. So don't give up. Don't allow yourself to get beaten down. Know it's possible. And there are tools, right? So there are tools, and today Patrick is going to share, do some clearings, especially that the first one we talked about was the
yes, but energy.
Yes, but getting rid of that, because I know a lot of you have that, right? Yes, but even before you even can take an action anywhere, that energy comes up and stops you before you can even start. It's so let's definitely clear that. So please, it's I know this is I feel like it's a serious topic or an intense topic, because I so want you to get how powerful you are, because you are. There's nobody more powerful than you, right, in your life. So get that. You are powerful. And we have never been told that, right? We were always told the opposite, that we're nothing, Trust me, I was told that so many times, and that we're very limited and we're small and we're puny and we can't do anything. And who do we think we are, and blah, 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 right? All those stories we've all heard. They're all a lie. They're all a lie. None of that is true. Right, Patrick? I'm on fire. It's oh my God.
Yeah, you're going to town.
I know. It's I'm just so intense, It's oh my God. Yeah. So,
well, yeah. It's because you're so passionate about this subject, and I really want to honor that. So as you were talking, there were a couple of ideas that popped into my mind. And then after I express them, I want to get directly into some attunements and activations to do some clearing for everybody.
Yeah.
The first one is that one of the things that you will do through your lifetime as you grow spiritually and as you advance is you will begin to clear away all of those desires that you think are yours, but you actually picked up from somebody else. And you all already know that, you're very powerful empaths. you're constantly picking up the thoughts and the beliefs and the feelings and the pains of other people around you. A lot of times you're picking up the desires of other people around you. And a lot of times, given the modern world that we live in, where people are essentially, it feels like for most people, what drives them the most is the need to be liked. One of the ways we make other people like us is to absorb their desires so that we can have camaraderie with them. So we end up living somebody else's dream. We end up living our mother's dream or our father's dream, or sometimes the opposite happens. We are so traumatized by our parents that we choose to do the opposite of what their dream is for us. Once you kind of clear away all of that baggage, all of that stuff that you picked up from other people, and you begin to step into what your authentic desires are, you might find that your authentic desires are completely, radically different from what you thought they were. And you'll also find that you may lose your connection with the people around you, the people that you absorb those desires from. So you'll create space for new people in your life. So what I'm saying essentially is, it's one thing to have a clear intention and to know what your desires are. It's another thing to really, truly recognize when those desires are legitimately yours and when you pick them up from somebody else in order to make them like you or to please them or to appease them or whatever. The second thing that's really important, and Alara wants to jump in here. So
I just want to share really quickly about that. So like for me, for example, when I was growing up, I was always a very quiet one, and never made any waves, and I was always a good girl. And then as I was growing up, I wanted to fit in to society, the Indian society, and I wanted to fit in with my family. And so I did everything that they told me to do. Whatever they said, I did that, right? They loved me. I knew that already, but still, there was still that, wanting to do everything that they said, because that's what a good Indian girl does. I don't know where I got that idea. And then when I started changing that, when I was like 42, everything has changed since then, right? That was 10 years ago. And my whole life has completely changed. My family is still with me, but nobody else. Like none of my friends at that time, I don't even know where they are anymore, right? So, but I had to find that for myself, like what is really right for me, what is true for me. Instead of trying to be liked and loved by everybody, I had to like and love me first, right? And so a lot of women, what they do is, and I say this because I met a lot of women in the past who did this, they would try to be what they thought their boyfriend or husband wanted them to be, right? And they gave up themselves, a part of themselves, right? And for me, that felt like I was killing myself every day by doing that. And then so, then everything changed. And here I am in Vienna, miles and miles apart from everybody else. And it's awesome. And now, I can just be me. And now my family accepts who I am. They don't get me, but they totally accept me as I am now, and it's a much easier relationship because I'm not fighting to be somebody that I wasn't, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And for some people, it's just purely automatic. There are a number of people that I know that are essentially, what would you call them? Personality camouflage experts. So no matter who they're interacting with, they reflect the energy of the person that they're with, and like everything that they like, dislike everything that they dislike. And then when they get together with a different friend, everything shifts to match the energy of whoever they're with. So that, that can take a little bit of work to get beyond, because that person needs to figure out, who they are in their core identity, and kind of purge away that, it's a habit that serves them well. It gets them connected with other people, but those connections are essentially based on a lie. And therefore those relationships are never as meaningful as they could be. So yeah, it's this manifests itself in so many different ways. The second thing I wanted to bring up that's really powerful, and just so you know, whenever I talk about something like this, I'm infusing energy into the conversation. So you're actually receiving a deactivation as I'm talking about this, or an energy shift if you're open to it. The second thing is, the vast majority of people have never been trained to have a pure desire. So if there's something that you would like to have in your life, or if there's something that you really truly need in your life, most of us have been trained to be in the energy of disliking where we are right now. An example of that, just to make it clear, is I spent most of my life in really, really deep financial struggle. And the imprint of that financial struggle, it's still on me today. And I have a choice. I can either stand in the desire of having surplus and understanding what that feels like and embracing the joy that would come with having wealth and surplus, or I can be in the energy of hating the debt, of constantly worrying and being on guard and talking about how I can't stand not having money for this, that, or the other thing, living in resentment and even outright hatred of people who have what I don't. That type of energy is what we are trained to have. We're not trained to have the joyful energy of what it would be like to have it. We're trained to be in the energy of how painful it is not to have it yet. So once you make that shift, you actually begin to energize whatever your desires are. As long as you're in the energy of what we call away from energy, the feeling that it's just too painful, it's horrible where you are right now, and you simply can't stand it anymore and you need an escape, you're actually energizing the thing that you're trying to escape, and you create more of it. One of the truisms about the law of attraction is that the universe is completely and utterly neutral. The neutrality of the universe is an expression of unconditional love. A lot of times we misunderstand what unconditional means. It means that the universe loves you and supports you unconditionally. And if you are stewing in the energy of how much you hate your life, the universe automatically reflects that energy back to you without judging it. It just responds to what it is you seem to be asking for. And it will very neutrally reflect back to you more and more opportunities to have what you've had before. If you shift into the energy of just the joyful expectation of what it will be like when you achieve your dreams, that's what the universe will reflect back to you. It doesn't judge whether it's good or bad. It simply gives it to you through its unconditional love. If you're somebody who's constantly complaining and stewing and fretting, you have something nasty to say about every single person you've ever met, the universe looks at you and it says, well, this person really loves interpersonal conflict. Let's bring more. Let's bring more. Let's indulge this person with what their desire is. So the universe always reflects back to you perfectly whatever energy you're broadcasting. So if you're in the paranoid energy of thinking that there are conspiracies everywhere and everyone's out to get you and you have to be on your guard all the time, the universe will reflect that back to you. So
it's really important to be aware of what energy you are vibrating at, like what energies, frequencies you're vibrating, what energies, frequencies are you being, right? So basically, what are you thinking, right? All the time. What are you feeling all the time? What are you saying all the time, right? And being aware of the energy of that, not just the words, but the energy behind it, right?
Yeah. Now, I think it's really, really important to add to that, and I know I'm getting a little bit complex here, but a lot of times people misunderstand that message when I say it, and they think it means never, ever, ever have a negative thought, never get angry about anything. Just force yourself to be positive at all times. And that is absolutely not true. We are embodied as human beings for a reason. We chose to embody as human beings for a specific reason, and that reason is not to have a non-human experience. So if you think that it's anti-spiritual or it's non-spiritual to get angry or to have a sexual thought or anything like that, you're actually depriving yourself of the human experience that you came here to have. So that's something called spiritual bypassing. And that spiritual bypassing is going to shut down your spiritual growth. Another dimension of spiritual bypassing is toxic positivity, that belief system that, if things are going wrong, just think happy thoughts and everything will take care of itself. That's delusional. Mm-hmm. And what you have to do is shift your energy at your core, not try to cover over or bury the pain that you hold inside by having a very pretty, happy facade. That pretty, happy facade is always paper thin. Yeah. And what you're repressing inside of you is going to explode outward in ways that are even worse than they would have been before. So any energy that you repress tends to explode outward, especially like repressed sexual energy. A lot of really unhealthy behavior emerges because of repressed sexual energy. So you don't want to...
I was just going to add really quickly. So, when we're talking about, having a facade and when everybody looks at you, they think, oh my God, she has a perfect life. That's what my facade was when I was married to my ex-husband. It's like on the outside, everybody thought we had the perfect marriage. Everything was great. It's like, and when we went to functions and whatever, it always looked perfect. The ideal couple, the ideal family, we had it all going on. But inside, it was all fake. Right. Yeah. And so finally, I got to that point where I exploded. It's like, I can't do this anymore. And my ex-husband was like, what's going on? I have no idea what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, really? But the thing is that, when you're repressing how you're feeling, like the resentment, the bitterness, the unhappiness, whatever it happens to be, and you're just putting up that brave front, you can only do the brave front for so long. After a while, it's like, it starts to eat at you, And that, for me, that's what it was like, right? And so then I had to stop. It's like, no, enough. I have to, this cannot continue because it's not healthy. It wasn't healthy for anybody. And so sometimes you don't realize how many people are actually doing that. There are so many people that are living that facade, and you don't know.
Yes. Well, it's probably everybody who's living by default because that's what we're trained to do.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there are very many people in the world who are trained to be radically authentic. In fact, we're taught that radical authenticity is antisocial. So, we have to find that balance point.
That's why I call my husband antisocial.
It's one thing to be so authentic that you're constantly burdening everyone else with your issues. And, it's if I'm having a bad day, but I'm at a restaurant, I'm going to smile at the server.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, when the server comes up and says, how are you? I'm not going to unload all of my burdens onto the server. That's antisocial behavior.
Right.
So there are certain things that we do where we kind of contain our energy, but that doesn't mean repressing it. It just means kind of lubricating the social engagement that we have. So what I would like to do now, because I want to make sure that I'm not I feel like a little disconnection setting in. So I want to gather everyone together, and I want to start doing a little bit of energy work. So please just kind of refocus, set aside anything that you're doing that might distract you, and allow me to connect with you energetically. And the thing is, I'm already connected energetically, but I want to deepen that connection. So as we're deepening this connection, I simply want you to observe, feel whatever it is bubbling up inside you, and allow it to be. And then I promised earlier that I would start by working on the yes, but energy that most of us have been trained to have. So we're going to start by clearing away any and all habits you have of having the knee-jerk reaction of creating a catalog of all the reasons why you can't have something whenever an opportunity emerges. Beautiful. So There are certain categories of reasons we have for not doing things. So anywhere and everywhere, you automatically slip into the energy of that's impossible for me whenever an opportunity arrives. Let's get the truth about that as understood by your higher self and clear it all away right now and replace it with the energy of yes. Beautiful. And anywhere and everywhere, you have a knee-jerk reaction of this is forbidden. I'm not allowed to do this. When an opportunity arises, let's get the truth about that and clear it away and replace it with the energy of yes. So, of course, it doesn't mean you have to do everything, but whatever opportunities come your way, you're open and receptive. Okay, and this is especially important for the women on the call because women are more likely than men to be trained into believing that they're not allowed to make decisions for themselves or to embrace things without getting somebody else's permission first. Beautiful. And now anywhere and everywhere, you have a knee-jerk reaction when opportunities arise of assuming that they are dangerous or that it's not safe for you to do things that you haven't done before. It's not safe for you to take risks. Let's get the truth about all of that and clear it away. Beautiful. And now anywhere and everywhere you've lived in the energy and have had the knee-jerk energetic reaction of thinking, yes, I would love to do that, but I'm not ready for it yet. I'll put it on the back burner and I'll look at it again a year or two from now when I'm ready. Let's get the truth about that behavior and clear it all away right now. Beautiful. And then finally, anywhere and everywhere you've lived in the energy of that's not me, that not taking risks and not taking advantage of opportunities defines you as a person and defines your life. Let's get the truth about all of that and clear it away. That is the feeling that, sure, other people are adventurous, but that's simply not who I am, and therefore I'm never going to do anything like that. Okay, beautiful. And now let's just do a final purge of yes but energy. And we're replacing that yes but energy with the raw, pure energy of yes. But the energy of yes does not mean that you must do every opportunity that arises. It simply means that you're open to considering them and you will consider them on their terms rather than based on your fears and previous knee-jerk reactions. Okay, beautiful. Everyone take a really deep breath and hold it for a moment. And then release when you're ready. Okay, and now I need to round this out a little bit because I could feel some inconsistencies and some misalignments in a few different people. And the misalignment has to do with what does the word yes literally mean? What does the word no mean? Because a lot of us have been trained because we wear masks and we're constantly, trying to please and appease other people. We've been trained to say the word no when we mean maybe, or we're trained to say the word yes when we mean maybe, or we're trained to, we confuse the words no, yes, and maybe. So I want to bring in an alignment on that. So when you say no, no means no. And when you say yes, yes means yes, unless I change my mind later. Okay. And I'm sure all of you can think of situations where somebody asked you to do something and you said no, and they're interpretation of your no was, that means I need to try harder to convince them. So we want to make it so no means no. Okay, and just because you say no or yes, it doesn't mean that you can't change your mind later. The other misalignment that's really, really super common is we're embarrassed to say no, so we say maybe. And when you say maybe, you mean no, but the person you're talking to hears yes when you say maybe. So let's clear that misalignment away. Okay, and anywhere and everywhere you've been told that it's rude to say no, anywhere and everywhere you've been taught that dangerous to say no, that you need to soften your no's, that you'll lose your friends if you say no. Let's just get the truth about all of it and clear it away. Okay, and this is crucial because if you're really going to embrace the energy of yes, you want to make sure that you can freely say no when you mean no. So you don't say yes to absolutely everything and then spread your energy so thin that you weaken yourself. Okay, beautiful. Now everyone take a really deep breath once again to integrate what we've just done. And release when you're ready. Okay, wow. I just saw one glimpse of something in a few of you. It is, this would just take a second. I just want to do a little reading on what it is I saw. Okay, for some of you, you are not 100% confident in your intuition, and you don't know how to recognize the difference between when the universe is saying no to you, that is, the universe is putting up roadblocks, and when you're creating those roadblocks yourself. So I just want to just send in an extra wave of energy so you can recognize the difference between, because there might, for example, be a project that you want to work on, and you have subconscious fear of doing it, and therefore challenge emerges, and then you say, well, the universe doesn't want me to do it. So that's often not the case. So let's just clear that away. Okay. How are you all feeling?
Oh my goodness, that was a lot.
That was a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I was yawning like crazy. You know, I happened to look at Giovanna for a second, and then I just started yawning. She was yawning, and then I started, and then I didn't stop until now. You know, it's like it was, it was, yeah, that was intense. Thank you. Yeah, everything you covered was like, yeah, definitely. It's like, oh my God. And I was, oh my God, yeah. I don't even have words. So, yeah. Margaret saying, thank you so much for that. Feeling so grateful. I yawned a lot too. Yeah, I don't even know where we are now, Patrick. I'll be honest, I don't even know.
Perfectly fine. We've done a good amount of work. Let's take some like questions or callers.
Mm-hmm. All right, so if you'd like to ask a question, you want to raise your hand. I should have mentioned this before at the beginning, but you know, I was all into the, you know, let's do the birthday celebration for Patrick, so I forgot. But raise your hand and or write in the chat, okay? Awesome. So there was a question earlier on. Gurjeet, you wanted to ask a question, which I didn't quite understand earlier on. You said it seemed contradictory. Do you still want to ask that question or something else?
Yes, I still want to ask that question because
Sure.
I thought, like when Patrick said that, you know, when something bad happens, you can't just, you know, shift to and pretend that you're in a good feeling space. And then on the other hand, he said, you should be in a good feeling space. So how is that possible? That was a little hard for me to understand.
So what I'm saying is that what you should strive for is to have your core energy, the energy that you wake up with every morning, the natural, normal energy that you radiate automatically when you're simply not doing anything. That should be fairly positive. Doesn't have to be absolutely 100% positive, but it needs to be on the positive side. And then as challenges emerge, as you interact with other people and negative things happen, you process those experiences with grace and ease. So you feel the pain when somebody does something harmful to you, but you don't get stuck in it. And if somebody does something that creates anger in your energy field, instead of swallowing the anger and pushing it down and repressing it, you allow the anger to do what it's supposed to do. That is to cause you to stand up for yourself, and then you release it. So there's, I just remember years ago when there was a friend of mine who thought that I was Buddhist. I don't know how he got the idea that I was a practicing Buddhist, but he would, every time he would try to push my buttons. He would try to make me angry about something. And then if I did, in fact, get angry about him pushing my buttons, he would say, well, you're a crappy Buddhist. So, that's what I'm talking about, that belief system that says that for you to have a natural, normal human response, a normal reaction that involves anger, jealousy, shame, fear, or whatever else, that somehow that's anti-spiritual and you should be ashamed of yourself, for having that reaction, that you're bad at your spirituality. Now, the human emotional guidance system encompasses all of the basic emotions that we have. So anger, fear, jealousy, resentment, all of those, shame and so forth, they all have a positive function. The problem is that we get stuck in them. The problem is that if something shameful happens, or we have this experience of shame, which is essentially a message that says you're stepping on other people's boundaries, you need to check yourself. Some of us we kind of bask in that shame and we absorb it and we live in that shame, and then we try to repress our behavior. Some people get stuck in anger, some people get stuck in jealousy, but those are all just signals that you need to make a shift in your life. Once you've made the shift, you let go of the anger, you let go of the jealousy and so forth. So when you do that, when you're able to process those negative emotions quickly, easily, and effectively, then it's very easy for you to stand in that positive energy on a regular basis. Another way of putting this, there's a former client of mine named Teresa who always talked about having to climb up onto her high-flying disc. So she'd get up in the morning and then she would do her meditation practice so she could climb up onto her high-flying disc, and then she'd spend the entire day hoping no one knocked her off her disc. And I worked with her to convince her that, wouldn't it be better to wake up every morning on your high-flying disc, and then if somebody knocks you off, because that's your natural state, it's easy for you to get back up there again. So we completely retrained her from feeling like it was her duty every day to force herself to be positive and to just wake up in the morning being positive. And that had a profound shift in her life, as far as I know. So
Gurjeet, how's that? Does that help?
She's still muted, so.
Yeah. Hold on. I can't unmute you, Gurjeet.
I've unmuted myself.
Okay, awesome.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but what if you keep getting the thought again and again? I mean, you've sat with it, you've processed the emotion, and then you get the thought again. Mm-hmm. So, and again, you go down. And so, like, how often do you keep processing this feeling of, anger?
So, or can you give me an example? What specifically is the thought that you're...
Yes, I can give you an example. Like if one of your kids speaks a bit rudely to you and you're not quite happy, and the kid doesn't mean it, but they're maybe in a rush and maybe you didn't get them, and so they're like abrupt with you and it hurts you. And so you think, oh my God, I don't think I deserve that. but then you sit with it, and then again after some time you think, oh, they shouldn't have spoken that way to me.
Yeah, well, the fact of the matter is they shouldn't have spoken to you that way. So you're perfectly justified in feeling angry in that moment. So you would address it to train the child not to speak to you that way. But here's the thing that most of us end up doing. Number one, we live in the expectation that somebody's going to be rude to us. And we're almost like preemptively in the energy of them being rude to us because we're living in that expectation. So when they are eventually rude to us, we're like primed and ready to dive into that energy really quickly. The second thing is a lot of people they haven't trained themselves to live in the energy of the moment yet. So when your child is rude to you, you're not experiencing that rudeness as an isolated experience in the moment. You're remembering every single time in the past that that child was rude to you before, and you're experiencing all of them simultaneously. So one of the goals is to clear the trauma, clear the frustration, clear the disappointment of events that have happened in the past. So when something bad happens to you in the present, you're able to focus on it as an isolated experience in the here and now. Most of us live our lives stuck in the past. And if something happens now that reminds us of things that have happened in the past, our experience in the now is actually overwhelmed by our memory of all of the other versions of it in the past. So
yes, that makes a lot of sense, and I resonate with that, because all the past experiences come up right away, and then that drains you even more.
Yeah. So this is not to talk about my mother as a cliche, but this energy that my mom had is kind of a cliched energy. It's the "and another thing" energy. And I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about there. My mom and my dad would fight constantly. They were constantly arguing with each other. And whenever my father did something to make my mother angry, she would get angry at him for the thing that he did, and then she would explode with a litany of everything that he's ever done to her that annoyed her. And it was constantly, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And before long, she completely forget what she was angry about in the moment because she was so angry about things that had happened 10, 20, 30 years ago. So we can train ourselves to live in the present. We can train ourselves to let go of the past. We can train ourselves to let go of our stories so that we don't constantly relive the narrative that we've lived in the past over and over again. But it takes some work. It's not, once again, you don't just wave a magic wand and suddenly you're in the energy of never remembering something that happened in the past. You have to train yourself, and you have to rewire the brain to support your focus on the here and now.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. I do get the explanation, and it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Now I feel like we've gotten a little bit technical. I want to lighten it a bit. I want to lighten the mood a little bit and make this a little bit more fun and
okay, then I'm not going to ask Caroline's question just yet. I'm going to wait.
Oh, well, let's do it. Maybe there's a way to do both.
All right, Caroline, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Hello, Caroline.
Mute myself. Am I muted?
There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't think we ever get to speak face to face. I'm home today. I'm usually at work. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. What I had said is maybe speak a little bit more about what sexual energy is, because it's not necessarily with a partner or so. Yeah.
Repressed sexual energy.
Repressed sexual energy. Maybe expand on that.
Okay. So. Wow, that's a huge topic, and I could go on for days talking about that. And it's actually one of my favorite topics. So the fact of the matter is this: we are all sexual beings. We are born in these physical bodies that are sexual in nature, and we all have creative energy And a lot of the creative energy that we have is sexual in nature. So the second chakra, the power center in the sex region, and the throat chakra are your two primary creative power centers in your body. But one is more generative and one is more imaginative. But we'll set that aside for now. The fact is, every single one of us is deeply infused with sexual energy, and we are all sexual beings. So sexuality for me isn't how you express masculinity and femininity or what you do with your sex organs. Sexuality is how you interface as a physical being with the world that you live in. So it's how you walk in the world. You carry your sexual energy with you no matter what you're doing as you walk in the world. Now, a lot of us, especially those of us who grew up in, let's say, body negative, dogmatic religious traditions, were taught that the physical body is inherently shameful, the physical body is inherently disgusting and dirty, that sexual thoughts, which are absolutely normal and natural, that sexual thoughts are inherently dangerous and shameful, and that pleasure, even pleasure, raw pleasure by itself, the joy of watching a sunset even, that pleasure is suspect. That pleasure is a gateway to hedonism, and hedonism is the gateway to hell. So layered upon the fact that we are all sexual beings at our core are, for a lot of us, all of these messages that you should never express your sexuality, you should never show your sexuality, you should never talk about it, that if you do, you're dirty or disgusting or shameful, and then we internalize that shame. And we walk around with that shame at our core level. So when an opportunity arises for us to be sexual, we hide it, we mask it, we shove it down, we pretend it doesn't exist, we repress it. And whenever you repress your sexuality, it needs to kind of express itself in some way. Most people who repress their sexuality actually project their desires onto other people and then punish them for expressing what they themselves can't. So you get, for example, people who are repressed homosexuals who go out and gay bash, or people who are very, very prudish about sexuality, who are constantly, quote unquote, slut shaming people that they dislike. So that's all shadow, it's all projection, and it's all very, very, very limiting, because it's hard to be a human being living in wholeness when you're denying one of the essential features of who you are as a human being. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, did that help at all?
It did. What about single people? And well, I guess it doesn't matter. They can still express. What about people who have trouble using that part?
Yeah, you mean, what is it? You mean people who repress their sexuality so that they become celibate, or?
No, who can't orgasm.
Okay, well, that could be, yeah. Okay, so let me read into this a little bit. Okay, so that condition can exist for a number of reasons. It can exist on a physiological level, where the brain just is underdeveloped in a certain area, or it can be the result of deep repression. The shame is like so overwhelming that you simply cannot let yourself go in that moment. So what I would probably work on, first of all, is clearing away all the belief systems that say that it's dangerous to have an orgasm, it's shameful, you're a horrible person if you have it outside of a specific context, that sex is exclusively for procreation and any other expression of sex is sinful, or, a lot of people have the belief system that if they have sex for any other reason whatsoever other than to procreate, it's a one-way ticket to hell. Now, those are all limiting beliefs, and I would kind of dig around, try to figure out which ones are there, where they came from, and then release them and replace them with a belief system that it is safe. It's not only safe, it's actually encouraged for you to have a robust and healthy sexual experience in your life. So there'd be a whole program involved with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
There's more, but I think it's too personal, and it would categorize into a personal session. So
yeah, and I think that, you know, when we get into like the nitty gritty of a specific issue, it becomes so personalized that it kind of loses resonance with the entire group. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caroline. So Angela had a question. She said, you talked about when the universe is saying no and we resist listening to the message.
Well, I don't think the universe ever actually says no. The universe reflects whatever your desires are. So if you would like to have something in your life, but you have a deep-seated fear or a belief system that you're forbidden to have it, roadblocks emerge. And we could either blame the universe for blocking us, or we could recognize that that energy of no comes from inside us. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people make this mistake. They, you know, for example, let's say, for example, I want to set up a brand new website, but things just keep standing in the way of it. It's not possible for me to do it. And I eventually say, well, the universe just doesn't want me to do it.
Right.
It could be that your guides are kind of trying to misdirect you, but it's more likely the case that you're just not in alignment with that project and you're creating the roadblocks yourself. So,
mm-hmm. And we've all had that feeling from time to time.
So I think the point that I was trying to make is that it's really easy to blame the universe for energies that are inside you.
Right. Ouch. Thank you. Thank you, Angela, for that. So Vicky was asking a question. She doesn't know how to raise her hand, so I'm going to ask the question here. When I'm working with meditations and inviting my frequencies into my life, is that putting out a positive energy to the universe? So Vicky, if you want, I can unmute you. Sorry, that's what I said in the thing somewhere. I said I'll unmute you when it's your turn. Hold on. Let me find you in one sec. Or maybe you just unmuted yourself? Oh yeah, go ahead. Hi. Go ahead, Vicky.
Hi.
Hi, Vicky.
So, hi, and happy birthday again.
Thank you.
So when I am working in meditations and inviting frequencies and breathing in frequencies of prosperity or safety and things like that, because I spend a lot of time doing that right now, I'm not really getting the feelings. I'm just getting, but I'm breathing and ask for connection to my guides and higher self. But I feel kind of neutral. So what is that putting out to the universe?
Well, Vicky, do you have a background in theta healing?
No.
Okay. So I have a background in theta healing, even though it's not what I practice. And one of the core principles that they teach in theta healing that I've kind of absorbed in my current practice, but I don't emphasize it as much, is that when you're drawing upon let's call them abstract concepts such as joy energy or success energy or prosperity energy. Sometimes you invite those energies in, but on a subconscious level, you don't understand what they are, and you don't know what they feel like. So if you don't know what something is on a subconscious level, and you don't know what it feels like to have it on a subconscious level, that energy, it just feels like it passes through you and nothing happens. So let's just do an alignment for everyone who's on the call right now. So you can know at a very, very deep visceral level, you can know at your core, in your subconscious mind, what success is and what success feels like. What joy is and what joy feels like, what prosperity is, and what prosperity feels like. And I could feel a big blockage with the word prosperity, so we'll get to that in just a moment. Okay, and then it's not even just the case that you need to know on a subconscious level what those feel like so you can recognize them when they're around, you need to know what it feels like to be able to persist in those energies. So you might know what joy feels like, but not know what it feels like to have joy for an extended period of time. So let's install that for everyone. What it feels like to have success for an extended period of time, joy for an extended period of time, and prosperity for an extended period of time. And then specifically within you, Vicki, when I hit the word prosperity, I saw this entire flash of fear energy emerge. And there's a belief system or a set of belief systems within you that's probably present in a lot of other people on the call right now that says prosperity is dangerous because if I have surplus, then my life is complicated and all sorts of responsibilities that I don't have right now are going to emerge and I don't have energy for that. So we're
That's not good.
Clear that away.
Thank you.
It's just too much trouble to have prosperity. So I'll live on the edge. At least I know how to manage that. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. So hopefully that will help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Vicki. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and mute her. All right. So we have a few more questions. So Maria has had her hand raised for a while. Go ahead, Maria. Do you want me to unmute you?
Where's Maria?
I'll go ahead and unmute you. No, I can't unmute you. So. Oh. Okay, there you go.
Hi, Maria.
Go ahead.
Hi. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
My question, I think the last clearing, it touched something, so I know maybe that's what that is. But my question is, again, I'm resting, and I've let go of a job. It came to an end, and I'm looking for a job now. But here's that but where am I blocked towards success and prosperity? I've cleared a lot since we last talked, and I greatly appreciate that.
Well,
But,
I mean, here's
something there.
Yeah, it's something completely different than what you're expecting. And hopefully this makes sense and hopefully there's no fear involved in this. But what I feel like on a very deep visceral level is after the last job you had, you need a break. You feel right?
Yes, it was a lot. So it wasn't the job itself, but it was the clearing, what surfaced because of that job, which I'm truly grateful for. It changed my life.
So what I'm doing right now is that it's not that you're blocked from getting a new job in the future. The issue is primarily readiness. So it's not like there are no jobs available or I don't know what's right for me or what am I going to do. It's just that I need a break. I need to step away and just turn inward and focus on myself for, 2 or 3 weeks or a month, and then I'll have the energy to move forward. And that's perfectly fine. It just feels like if you take just a little bit of time, even if it's just 1 week, to just kind of turn inward, meditate, and continue clearing and get yourself refreshed, then all those opportunities are going to start emerging for you.
Okay. Would it be something creative this time? Something fun and creative? Something different?
Yeah, it's they can be. It probably can be if that's what you're in the mood for. I've got a funny answer for this, and I recently did a shamanic ceremony, and I was asking my guides about different things that I should do in the future. And every single time I asked, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I focus on a book? Should I do a new web page? Should I work on this next project? The answer was always, that's an option. It will be as successful as you allow it to be.
No.
So if you want it to be something creative, it will be something creative. So yeah.
That's an option.
Yeah, some fun. Thank you.
My guides are always very neutral with me.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
All right. So not always the answer we want, right? But It's an answer. So there was a question from Giovanna. Had a question. Where'd you go, Giovanna? Did I lose you? There you are. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Or go ahead. I unmuted you.
Okay, good. Super.
Hi, Giovanna.
Hi. My question is, how do I trust the universe? Because, I got a message and then I start debating.
Mm-hmm.
Is this correct? Yes or no? And then I start different variations.
Yeah. How do you trust the universe? Well, you trust the universe by trusting yourself.
Okay.
When you learn how to trust yourself, you automatically trust the universe because you are the universe in a sense. But that's kind of it's one of those pithy answers that you read in a fortune cookie. So even though there's truth in it. So the question is, what do we need to do in order to get you to trust your intuition better and to not second guess yourself? Because what it sounds like is that when you make a decision about something, you're confident and you feel good in that decision at the moment that you make it. But then as your mind starts to analyze the decision you've made, you begin to second guess yourself. You begin to ask what could go wrong. You begin to ask, am I ready for this yet? And the big question that you ask is there a better solution? So so I want to clear away the energy of second guessing yourself and come into a realization that if you choose to do something and then you focus your energy into doing it, even if there are alternative routes that you could have taken, you will be successful because you're focusing on what you've chosen to do. So we're going to clear away the second guessing, clear away the tendency to second guess all of your decisions. You know as well as I do where that comes from. It comes from messages you got as a child that every decision you made is wrong. So that you're not smart enough to make decisions on your own.
Yes.
So we'll clear as much of that away as we can right now. So we're clearing away the energy of second guessing yourself. And then we're also clearing away what I refer to as over the shoulder syndrome. And this is a very, very common thing that people do when they decide on a certain path of action. They'll take 2 steps down that pathway, and then they'll start looking over their shoulder at all of the alternative decisions that they didn't make. And then they get stuck where they are because they're asking themselves, oh, is this really, I've only taken 2 steps. If I change my mind now, then I won't have lost much. But if I change my mind a month from now, it's a lot of wasted effort.
Okay.
Got to clear away the over the shoulder syndrome and bring in a realization that no matter which path you choose, it is the right path because you chose it. Okay. Yeah, and you have, I could see this in other people as well. You have this energy that is the energy of somebody who's talented in 100 different things. There are like thousands of things that you could do and be good at, but you've also been given the message that you're never good enough as you were growing up. And when you have like a lot of talents, but you also have the message that you're never good enough no matter what you do, it's really easy to kind of shift your focus all over the place and figure, try to figure out which is right. But as you do it, you'll know it if it's right. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so everyone take a deep breath and release that whenever you're ready.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanna. Thank you. So there's a question from Renetta. She can't come online or like live, but she says, what came to her as you were talking, I forget what point, she says, I make myself wrong, that I haven't figured out how to make a living out of what I can do. design work and access bars, I felt like I don't know how to live or how life works. And she said, I got that in this country. Stop blaming the country. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, stop blaming the country. Well, you see, the thing is, even before you started reading the question, the energetic pattern that I was picking up is the stranger in the strange land.
Mm-hmm.
The starseed energy of feeling like you're completely out of place and you don't fit in. That you've been thrust into an environment without given a guidebook on your way in. And that's a really, really common feeling for people who are new to the human experience, but have had lots of lifetimes in different realities. It can feel like no place on planet Earth is home. So what I want to do is install the sense of home and make it so instead of feeling like absolutely no place you've ever been is home, and instead shift it to everywhere you are is home because you're there. So everyone say yes to having that activation emerge within you. Just how to and what it feels like to recognize that you are at home no matter where you are because you're there. Instead of feeling like the environment is always wrong, the environment always non-supportive. Okay. Now, when you're in that energy of feeling like no place is home and you're a stranger in a strange land, that often translates into hating where you are right now, or saying it's unpleasant where I am right now. I need to move someplace else, even though I don't know where it is. And whenever you're in that energy, no matter how many times you move, you carry that energy with you. So my goal is to help you carry with you the energy of feeling at home everywhere. Okay, and this requires some little bit of subconscious work, as it is a big shift. So I want to open up the doorway to it for you right now. Okay, everyone take a really deep breath and hold it for a moment to integrate that. And release when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I'll let her process. Good. She says thank you. Awesome. Good. All right. We're going to take 2 more questions. Colette, you wrote in, but you want to unmute? Yeah, I'll go ahead. You're unmuted. Oh, I still can't hear you even though you're unmuted. Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Fantastic. Happy birthday and happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I love you both. I did write in, so I'll read it so I don't go off on a tangent. Okay, Patrick, you were talking about how our emotions, how our past comes back to us. And it's so interesting you said this, and then you just did this wonderful process. So I feel the emotions of my past has been coming up due to I moved many times, 40 times in my life, and it was very challenging. And now I've been where I'm at for over 10 years, but now I'm facing it again due to being behind in rent, and my landlady would like me, if I don't catch up, to move. And I want to clear this pattern, and I want to move because it's my choice, guided to something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that's not too much I'm throwing at you, but if we...
It's big. It's anchored in place by a number of different things that I can see. So you've got all sorts of interrelated belief systems that are meshed together as a web. And I'm going to try to figure out which thread in that web we can release now to begin the process of unraveling this whole ball of wax. And you have a lot of entangled blockages. By entangled, what I mean is that, let's say there are like 4 different arenas in your life where you want to make a shift, but you can't make a shift in arena 1 until arena 2 is complete, and you can't do number 2 until 3 is done, can't do 3 until 4 is done, you can't do 4 until 1 is done. So you're kind of blocked all the way around.
That's what it feels
an
like.
example of that I've seen in people is I can't lose weight until I start exercising, but I can't start exercising until I stop smoking, and I can't stop smoking until I start an exercise program, and therefore nothing ever happens. So you've got these like entangled webs of blockages. Okay. So where I would like to start, and I want to make this of use to everyone.
Yes.
Okay, I want to clear away the core belief system that you picked up, that your fate is always in somebody else's hands. So anywhere and everywhere you've decided that your major conditions in your life are dictated by other people, let's get the truth about it and clear it away. And of course, that is a very natural belief system for you to have if you're constantly being forced to move every year or 16 months or whatever the timeline is. Okay, so anywhere and everywhere you've decided that the major decisions of your life are beyond your control and that they are decided by other people, decided by people in positions of power, decided by lawyers. Let's get the truth about all of that and clear it away. Okay, and in place of that, let's bring in a deeper awareness of your personal power so that you know that you always have a say in whatever the decision is. Okay, now everyone take a really deep breath. And then for you, Colette, I feel like that's like the first domino that needs to fall in order to loosen up the whole lifelong pattern of being at the mercy of other people.
Yeah, I'm shivering and shaking. A lot of cold, felt really cold.
Okay, well, good. Let's integrate the shift.
Okay, I appreciate it, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you.
Really want a session with you and see what I can do.
Okay, thank you.
Love you both.
Awesome, thank you, Colette. Love you too, thank you. So there's a question from Yetunde, sorry. Why can't I go deep in meditation? Maybe you can tap in and.
Trauma. Okay, so you have a belief system on a subconscious level that if you go too deep in meditation, you will be taken over by demonic forces, entities, you have been taught on a subconscious level that meditation is a gateway to primordial forces beyond your control, and they all tend to be malevolent. So there's fear energy blocking you from meditating. So let's clear away any and all belief systems that tell you that it's dangerous for you to meditate too deeply because you'll get lost. You'll get stuck down there, and when you get stuck down there, you'll be vulnerable to dark forces beyond your control. And you have a traumatic imprint left over from having gone on like a shamanic journey or a deep meditation, or maybe even anesthesia, like being put under for an operation and then coming back with an entity attached to you. We could call it a hop-on. Okay, so let's clear that imprint, clear away all the fears that tell you that it's dangerous for you to meditate deeply. and bring in a deeper awareness of how you can stand in your autonomy as you meditate deeply. Now, notice I didn't say how you can protect yourself. It's about how you can stand in your autonomy. Because if you live in the expectation that you must have protection, then the universe reflects that energy back to you by bringing you things to protect yourself from. So you just want to make it so that when you meditate or do a shamanic journey, or in your case, go under anesthesia for an operation, you can stand in your autonomy, in your energy. Okay, beautiful. Everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. And release. Wow.
Yeah, so one more question from Joanne. Joanne, go ahead and unmute yourself, or I can try. 1 second. Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead. Hello?
Thank you. And it's so much nicer to be on Zoom than to be on the phone. No, seriously, I've done both, and watching you, Patrick, I feel the energy so strongly, and I just felt that whole process just now. I also had anesthesia many years ago and developed severe anxiety after that, so I related very much to that. But my question is, I've actually was brought up thinking I could do anything, knew I was a force to be reckoned with, grew a tremendous business, was very, very, very successful. Now I'm 65 and I really want to shift into something else. So that was a very physical plane business of doing speech pathology practice. And now I want to shift into more esoteric work and more energy work. And I almost feel like I'm competing with myself, where I've got to be as successful as I was before. I have to put as much time and work and energy into it, and I'm just way too tired at this point in my life to do that. So I was wondering if you could help with that.
Okay. Okay, so are you a perfectionist?
Yeah.
Okay, let's redefine success as something other than perfection.
Okay.
So let's reinstall for you a definition of success that involves basking in the energy of doing something that you enjoy. So we want to redefine success as something internal rather than based on the external tangible results. Now, most of us have been taught that success is what you accomplish in the world and what your credentials are and all of the tangible accomplishments that you can point to and say, look at that, that proves I was successful. So now, as it's interesting, like the tools that you want to use now are all internal tools.
Mm-hmm.
And the arena that you were successful in previously was the external world. So in your core desires, you're shifting from external to internal. We need to redefine success and prosperity and everything else that goes with it. We need to redefine them on internal terms rather than external terms. So anywhere and everywhere you have decided that success exclusively means those tangible results that you can point to that prove that you accomplished something. Let's get the truth about that definition and release it from your subconscious mind right now. And as we're releasing that definition, let's replace it with a definition of success that involves whatever brings you joy and fulfillment and pleasure on an internal level, that is success for you. So you measure success by how happy you are doing what you're doing, and you no longer measure success by the tangible physical products that you can point to.
Okay.
Okay, and this also involves recognizing that success is your own internal evaluation of what you've done rather than all the people you've impressed. So it becomes internal. Okay, beautiful. Take a deep breath and hold it. Let's lock that in for everybody. And release. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. That was a great question. And yeah, so valuable, So, if I take a look at that, oh my God, I'm so successful. Yes. Right? Mm-hmm. Because it's about the internal. What am I enjoying? Right? What am I enjoying? What am I experiencing? How am I being? Right? And so being able to do these wonderful calls and shows and healings, like in my element, it's, I'm like, true.
Yeah.
It's
so
a true blessing.
An example that I have personally is that book that you mentioned at the beginning that I wrote, Brain Cells. If I were to measure success based on how many copies that book has sold 34 copies. That is, by that definition, a miserable failure. So, 34 copies for a book that I have promoted far and wide, and have even done television, radio interviews on. That is like one of the biggest failures ever. But I absolutely loved the writing process. I love having this completed project that is all mine. I love the energy that I put into it, and I feel like it's a massive success. Because that success is measured by my internal feelings about the book, not by how many people have bought it or how many reviews there are and so forth.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So thank you. Great question. So I want to take
been said, I would love to sell more copies.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're available on Amazon. I bought mine on Amazon. So yes, it's available, right? All right, so I want to take a moment and talk about the special offer. It's the same one that we had last month. So basically, if you click on the special offer button, it takes you to Patrick's site, and then you use the coupon code ALARA40. Or you can go to, one second. We're going to take you to the site.
Yeah, I've got it up right now. Should I?
Oh, I got it. One sec.
Okay.
So if you go to selfie.com Lightbridge, right?
I'll click on the link. Couple of things about this. So what I'm offering, it's the same thing I offered last time. It's 40% off anything and everything in Lightbridge Living. But there's some things that I've added that weren't here previously. So for the first time ever, I've added a private Lightbridge one-on-one session to Lightbridge Living, and it's there in the middle. So that's normally $230. It would be a 40% discount with the coupon ALARA40.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I've added, first time I've ever done this, next month I'm going to be teaching a brand new course through Lightbridge Academy, which is a separate website, and that is called Lightbridge Power. And it is the biggest, most comprehensive course I've ever taught. I've already plotted out 33 recordings for the course.
Wow.
Whenever I teach courses, I always do a combination of live sessions and then pre-recorded audio files that I drip out, so you can study at your own pace, but you can also connect live to ask questions if you would like. So if you scroll to the very top of the page, Alara, I'll show where that is. So the first tile there is Lightbridge Power. The course number is LB130 in Lightbridge Academy. And if you sign up for that through Lightbridge Living, you'll get a 40% discount. That discount's not available on Lightbridge Academy. And when you sign up for it through Lightbridge Living, I will send you the registration instructions so you can get into Lightbridge Academy and take the course. So awesome. That course begins on the 27th. It begins in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks from today. And as I mentioned, it's a 3-week course. There are 4 live sessions, and then everything else is pre-recorded. It's the largest program I've ever produced. It's $279, but of course there's the 40% discount right now. So I recommend looking at that. If you want a more detailed description in the actual curriculum, there's a link on the page for this course that will take you to Lightbridge Academy, and you can actually look at the course on the Lightbridge Academy site.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And then the other thing, if you go back and look through all those recordings that you were scrolling through, you'll see there's a combination of packages and mini workshops and then individual sessions. So I've set it up so you could either get a package like the Wealth Harmonics package, or you can create your own package. You can build your own package by putting together 10 or 12 or 15 or however many you want of the individual recordings. That's it's awesome either way you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there's lots of choices, you know.
Lots of choices. Everything is 40% off with the code ALARA40, and that code, that discount, it's exclusively for this show. So
yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, all sorts of different price points. But make sure that when you purchase, you use the coupon code ALARA40. Otherwise, you're going to pay, you know, full price, which is also good too.
One more little comment about that, because you, Alara, you're in Vienna.
Yes.
For people in the European Union, there's the value-added tax. And the way that's managed in the United States is it's not built into the price, it's added as a surcharge. So if you're in Europe, contact me directly and I'll work out a way to remove the VAT for you so you don't pay that extra 20% surcharge that people in the United States are not paying. Right. So I can back that out for you. I'd have to do that by using a PayPal invoice instead of going through the site, but the end result will be the same.
Yes, absolutely. Good point. Because we can't we can't get around that any other way. So, but yeah, great choices that are available on the site, different price points, different types of packages, individual packages, and so on. So please do take a look at it. Click on the link that's in, you know, wherever you're finding this, and make sure you type in the code ALARA40 to get the 40% discount. And now I saw that you're offering a personal session. It's like, oh my God, that's awesome, you know, because that was not there before. So yay. All right. So, so Patrick, is there anything else that you wanted to share with us today?
Well, I know it's another one of those fortune cookie messages, but believe in yourself, you know. Let me phrase that in a way that's a little bit more weighty. That is, no matter what you believe about yourself at your core, no matter what you believe about yourself in your subconscious mind, you are going to attract into your life people and situations that will prove you right. So if you believe that you're a loser, you're going to attract into your life people who prove to you what a loser you are. If you believe that you are worthy of success and you're talented and you enjoy success, you're going to attract people who play along. So no matter what you believe about yourself, you will always attract people into your life who are happy to prove you right.
And that's how the universe works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. That's too long to put on a little sheet of paper and a fortune cookie. So believe in yourself.
Yes, believe in yourself. And believe that you are worthy, believe that you are deserving, believe, you know, believe that which empowers you. Okay, believe that which empowers you, and then go forth and create. Go forth and create. All right, so we had wonderful questions, all sorts of wonderful stuff. So thank you. And we are definitely sending you, Patrick, extra hugs, extra blessings for your birthday. Your birthday's on Friday, right?
Thank you.
Officially,
And,
so have a
I
great
just have
time.
one more thing before we go. I did mention that I love to travel, and I'm looking forward to coming to Vienna. But I'm going to turn on the virtual background here. This is a photo that I took in my local area. And my biggest passion in life is hiking. And this is one of my absolute favorite places to go hiking. So if you come to Palm Springs, we can do some wilderness work together. I am really passionate. I haven't done much of it yet, but I love the idea of going on hiking expeditions with people, getting immersed in nature, and then doing some one-on-one light bridge work while we're in this spectacular environment. So please feel free to come find me in Palm Springs. Maybe someday I'll have a conference or something.
Yes, definitely. Definitely you should. Yeah. Or do like a VIP weekend as well, start offering VIP weekends.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
Palm Springs, not in Florida. No, he's in California. Right, Patrick?
Yeah, Palm Springs, California, surrounded by massive mountains on all sides.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So hopefully you do have some birthday plans. Are you going to go see Cirque du Soleil? What are you doing?
I have no birthday plans.
Really? Wow.
I'm going to play it by ear this year. So, I do have a pool party that I'm going to on Saturday. So I'm going to make that my birthday celebration.
Awesome. Good. Whatever you do, have a great time. Know that we all love you. We're all sending you blessings for a fabulous year ahead. We only wish the best for you. And we just love you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Patrick. We lost him. Are you still there? That is so funny. Here we are wishing him blessings and so on. And, there he's back.
There, my computer, my computer froze.
I know, it's like, what happened here? Patrick,
the computer says it's time to quit.
Yeah, no, but first receive. My goodness, receive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So thank you. And thank you everybody for all of your love, for Patrick, for me, for the show, all your questions. Beautiful. Thank you for being so vulnerable and open. And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Thank you. Love, light, and joy to everyone.
Bye.